Hello you lovely, lovely people, and welcome back to Philippine life through the eyes of an expat. And you know my name by now, Stephen is here. I hope you all had a nice weekend. Mine was okay. It wasn't exciting, but it was okay. Spent some time with my family. Brilliant, really. Talking about pensions, state pensions. How far will your pension go in your country? Okay, America, Australia, New Zealand, England, European countries. I know some European countries like Switzerland has a very good pension, I believe, maybe Austria as well. But how far will your pension go? How far can you stretch it for that month? Because in reality, many people who are coming up to retirement or who have already retired haven't got savings. It's a real misconception that many people believe that everyone in the West is rich. That is a big misconception. That many might be rich, the rest are poor or living on the breadline. So, how far can you make your pension go? Not very far. I haven't got a pension yet, as you guys know, because you've seen my previous videos. So, what's the state pension in the UK? £220 a week, I think, currently, something like that. What can you do with that? What can you do with that? Especially with the price of energy right now, gas, electricity, council tax. Or community tax, I don't know what it's called now, but that tax at the end of the month. Groceries. So how far can you make it stretch? Realistically, people without savings, they will be living on that, and they will be waiting for their next pension. They will be living from pension payment day to pension payment day. Now, I'm not saying you don't do that here, but the quality of life living out here is so much better, and you can certainly stretch your pension out. Certainly stretch it out. And maybe if you're frugal enough, you might be able to save a little bit as well. But what I'm trying to say is you wouldn't be so poor, you know, and those dark nights, those dark winter nights where you're sat in the house and you've got to put your heating on. If you don't, you're going to die of hypothermia. So the winter costs you money, and the winter is always the most depressing months of the year. I know through my own experience of being in the UK. So you spend more time in the house. The more time you spend in the house, the more money you are spending. And the West, in my opinion, is not going to get any better. The economies are failing. Salaries are not keeping up, with inflation. It's not going to get no better, guys. The West is not going to get no better. I remember 30 years ago, and I was just leaving my university. Things weren't too bad. It was quite liberal to live where I lived. You could do a heck of a lot more things. Now it's becoming so tight and so closed. We can't do anything. It's becoming a state of not being able to do anything. The prices of things are increasing so much, and the pensions are only slightly raising every year, only slightly, and there is nowhere that is keeping up with the rate of inflation. So rather than, it doesn't matter if you're a single man or you're a single woman or you're married. I remember the days when people who retired in the UK, they used to go to Spain, Portugal, places like that. Some even went to the south of France, because the cost in the West then was cheaper. People were able to do it. Spain was cheap at one point. Spain was very cheap to live. I used to go over there very regular for holidays, I remember, and it was so cheap. Now it's not. It's so expensive. France expensive. The European countries are all expensive. So if you're single, if you're not single, if you're a lady, if you're a man, and you haven't got the commitments where you need to stay in your home country in the West, get out of it. Get out of it. Because you are much able to have a much more a liberal life here, a free life here, and no dark nights, no dark cold nights. There's dark nights obviously, but there is no freezing cold nights. You know, you've got to have your heating on and you're stuck in the house. Here is much better, guys, honestly. And so are many other countries, but I haven't been to many other countries to live. I've only lived in this country. I've worked in South Korea, I've worked in Japan, and just the same as England. You know, it's a rat race. People are very competitive. People are moving at such a fast pace, they've got no time for anybody. So it wasn't for me. That's why I packed those jobs in and I came here full time. And it's one of the best things I ever did. One of the best things I ever did. Don't be stuck in a rat race, guys, you know, and don't leave it until it's far too late, you know, thinking I should have done that. You know, if you're on a pension, get out here. You can rent somewhere out here. Seriously, guys, I know some foreigners who are renting now, and you can rent here for 2,500 paces. In fact, I was in a place, you know, before I come here, the place that me and my wife rented was 2,500 paces, a one-bedroom apartment. Yes, it wasn't the Ritz, but it also wasn't the worst. It was livable, it was nice, it was clean, and a good landlord as well. If you want to go up market a bit, and this is where I'm living, you know, in Mindanao. I'm in Mindanao. I'm not far from Dipolog City. You can get a two-bedroom apartment here for less than 5,000. So let's just say, what's that? That's about £85 or something like that. So that's your apartment gone, £85 a month, per month. What are you paying in your own country? What are you paying? This is if you don't own your own property. In fact, even if you do own your own property in the UK, it's still no reason to stay there. It's still no reason to stay there and suffer the economy, suffer the tightness that the country's coming under, the government control, how it's going over there, you know. Pension is a very important thing. I know it's a very important thing to people. And, you know, I haven't got mine yet. I don't get mine for another 11 years. But I'm managing okay. But if I was in the UK, with the salary that I'm getting now, I wouldn't be able to survive probably for a week and a half. But I can survive here comfortably. And this is my family as well, because my wife doesn't work. She's, you know, she takes care of our son. So to me, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And there's always places to go. There's so many islands here to explore for very cheap. For very, very cheap. Yes, if you've got plenty of money, you know, you can live in better places and you can take better transport and things like this. But, you know, transport, I'm meaning, you know, you can fly to the islands or to some of the islands that have got little small airports on them. But I like the, you know, the adventure, you know, the ferries, getting on a ferry, you know, for a few hours or whatever it is, how far the island is away determines how long you'll be on the ferry for. But I love that. It's part of the adventure. Right, where I am now, okay, you can get to Cebu from Dipolog City here for, if you go tourist class, which you got your own bunk and it's aircon, that'll cost you 1,400 pesos. That's $30, less than $30. And the crossing is like 9 hours, 10 hours. So it's great. There's like a little restaurant on the board. You can walk around, you can sit on the deck. And there's different ferries that leave. If you prefer to leave in the night, so you can sleep all night if you wanted to, there's a ferry that leaves all night. If you want to have a little bit of, you want to see the islands as you're passing them on the boat, then you can take the day ferry. So let's just say you did that. You stayed there for a few nights, you can get a half decent hotel, a good hotel really, for 1,000 pesos a night. So even doing all of these things, you'll still have change out of your pension. And there's many ants there. And you're living a life. You aren't watching every single penny that you're spending. You aren't watching it. Yes, you'll have to be careful. You have to budget. But you're budgeting it in a different way. You're budgeting it and you're enjoying yourself while being here. What's the worst here, that can happen to you? You come, you can't do it, so you go back. But if you don't do it, you're never ever going to know. And that's a massive, massive regret. I wouldn't want that regret. And I knew at 48 that I wasn't going to spend the rest of my life in the UK. I knew at 48. I'd had enough. I'd had enough of Groundhog Day. I totally had enough. And I come here with only half a plan and very little savings. I tell you what I had. I had about £10,000 savings and no plan, just a little plan. And the only plan I had was I'm not going to go back to England. I'm not going to lose my face and go back to England. After my friends telling me, oh, Stephen, you'll be back. You'll be back. It's not going to work out for you. That made me more determined. That made me much more determined to make it work. I did it. I'm a success story, if you want to put it like that. No, I'm not rich. What was that? I'm not rich. In money, I'm not rich. But I'm rich in my life. My life is fulfilled. I'm contented. I've got a lovely family. I'm building a house. With what little finances that I get every month, I can still manage to build a house here. I can still manage to do it. Slowly, hinay lang. If there's any Filipinos here that speak Cebuano, hinay lang. And there's no rush to do it. There's no rush to do it. So why spend your pension in the UK, watching every single penny, living maybe not such a good... And one of the important things, many pensioners in the UK don't go out much because they haven't got that many friends. Here, you'll come here with no friends unless you're talking to people on the internet before you come. But you will make friends here the first day. People will be, hello friend, hello my friend, where are you from? Blah, blah. And they will want to get to know you. And incidentally, I've been here for 6.5 years. I've never been ripped off. I've never been scammed. I've never had people want to rip me off. Do I pay a little bit more in the markets? Perhaps. I might pay another couple of pesos extra than other people. I don't know. But what's a couple of pesos, even if they do? They don't now because I'm with my wife. My wife goes into the market and she gets charged the same price as everybody else. But I don't mind paying a couple of pesos extra. I really don't mind that. But I've never been scammed here, guys. Never. Get yourselves out here. That's what I'm going to say to you. Get yourselves out. It's your choice. It's your decisions, yes. But if I can do it with what little money I had and no plan, then anybody can do what I'm doing. Anybody can do it. I'm 56 now. I'm working a little bit on the internet, maybe 4 hours a day. That's all I do, maybe 4 hours a day, spaced out, sometimes 5 hours a day. It's dependent on me, how many hours I want to work. But for me, 4 or 5 hours is enough. And we've got everything out of that salary that we need. We've got baby milk because he's 3 years old this week coming. This Wednesday, my son is 3 years old. He's 3 years old. He's not very well at the moment. Saturday, he had a fever. Yesterday, the fever had gone, but he's still not very well. He's 70%, but 30% whinging. But yeah, so he's 3. on Wednesday, and we've just bought him a few little toys. It's not going to be a fancy party. He doesn't need a fancy party. He's 3 years old. He'd much prefer the extra money being spent on something that he can open, rather than spending the money on all food and inviting people round. He doesn't like that. So get yourselves out here, guys. Take a chance. You know, take a chance. Come out for a holiday. And incidentally, guys, if any of you people are near me, where I live, you're welcome to come visit me. You're welcome. My house is always open, and I can show you around. I can take you around some places, familiarise yourself with some areas here. I'm willing to do that. If any of you guys are coming here, or you're near me already, then yeah, pop in and pay me a visit. But guys, listen, don't spend that hard-earned pension that you worked 35 years. I think you have to work 35 years or 30 years, 35 full years in the UK to get a full pension. I won't get a full pension. I know that. I will only get about 20 years. Will I get 20 years? 25 years pension I'll get. Yeah, 25 years pension. I don't care. I would not stay in the UK for a moment longer than I had to, waiting for a pension. I wouldn't do it. So if you're already getting that pension, get yourself out here. Buy a cheap ticket, stay in a cheap hotel, because all what you're doing in the hotel is sleeping. You'll have a shower in the hotel, sleeping. So why spend your money on a fancy hotel when you aren't staying in that hotel? You're only sleeping in it. That's all you're doing, sleeping, changing and having a shower. Get yourselves out here, guys, truly, wherever you are. And I'm saying here, the Philippines, because I've not been to Thailand and all the other Southeast Asian countries. I'm only talking about the Philippines. Would I go to Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia? Maybe for a vacation, maybe, but why would I? There's 7,000 islands in the Philippines to explore. There's 2 islands close to me where beautiful. I've been there. 200 pesos it cost me to get there by a local banker boat. And they live on the island, and they come to the mainland, to this island, Dipolog City, or Zamboanga del Norte, Dipolog City, the closest place to me. And they every day getting water, going back, and you say, friend, can you take me to the island? Yes, friend, jump on. How much? And they say free, but I always give them a couple of 100 pesos. And the islands are beautiful. The people are so friendly. You can eat fresh fish. You can eat fresh seafood, shrimp, crabs, small crabs. They aren't like they are in our country where they catch them over there. But everything, it's brilliant. For what? And for nothing. For pennies. Literally pennies. So get yourselves out, guys. Truly, utterly. Please. Don't do what many... my father was one of these people. He stayed in the UK. He was very miserable because he got divorced from my mother. He had a couple of girlfriends after my mother, and he was just a miserable... He was a very nice man, a good character man, but I could see he was miserable. And my dad always said to me, son, don't end up like me. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, lonely, stuck here, and that stuck in my head, and I wasn't going to end up like my father. No disrespect to my father, he was a beautiful man, a beautiful person. But I wasn't going to waste my life waiting for a pension and doing nothing. And not because I didn't want to do anything at that time. It's just I wouldn't have had the financial capacity to do anything with, And there's so many of these guys that I know back in the UK. They're called the Monday Club. And they go in these bars Monday, they get their pension, in bars drinking, because they've got nothing better to do. In Witherspoons, in Yates, and places like that. Here, you can buy a bottle of beer, a bottle of Red Horse, a bottle of San Miguel for $2 for a 1 litre. And believe me, that Red Horse, you don't need much of it. My God, it's so strong. You can have a much better life here, guys, really. Don't waste your life there. Don't waste your life in a country that doesn't care for you. Believe me, your country doesn't care for you. It truly doesn't care for you. The economy's broken. The governments are broken. They all want war. That's all they talk about. War, this. Here, politics. No one ever talks about politics. No one ever talks about politics. It's liberal, it's free. You can do virtually what you want, providing you're within the law. And no one's watching everything that you do. No one's watching everything that you do. Maybe nosy neighbours because they married us here, but that's normal. And it's not a bad thing. It's just what they do. But guys, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for the subscriptions, by the way. And share the video, guys. Share the video. Hit the notification button and the like button. It's very important. And one of the most important things is leave me a comment, because I like to write back to you. And like I said, if any of you guys are near here, or you're planning on coming here for for a holiday, you're welcome to to pop in and see us. You're more than welcome. So guys, that's it. I'm going. It's a very hot day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Thank you guys. See you next time. Thank you very much. Bye bye.